Mike Tirico, Greg Oates are ready to get this one going. Jake Bates set to get it started. And we're underway at legendary Lambeau Field. So the Packers come out, and they are led by Jordan Love, who followed Aaron Rodgers after playing apprentice for a couple of seasons. And now for Love, it is his third season as the Green Bay starter.
You know, Mike, it's kind of become cliche. You know, these guys come onto the field and we say, hey, you got to defend every blade of grass. They can make every throw, but that's exactly the case anytime this guy's lined up behind center. And the amount of stress that it puts on your pass defense, on your secondary, to know, I've got to defend sideline to sideline, line of scrimmage to the end zone, no matter where the ball is snapped. That's a tall task. And they're going to have to mix up coverages and be really sound on the back end, or this guy's a really kill him.
At the 34-yard line.
From the 34-yard line, here's second down and a yard. Stay on the ground with Jacobs. I don't think he got that wrapped up the line of scrimmage, and now you're looking at third down.
The offense thinks that they can just kind of plow this one up there in the middle and keep the chains moving, but not on this defense. Not only do they not pick up the first down, but after suffering that loss, now they've got some decisions to make on third down.
They'll go with the sneak. He's only going to be able to get back to the line. That's all. Gain 3 plays to start. Quick fourth down.
First down. First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
I don't want to take anything away from the quarterback here, Mike. He did a nice job picking up that first down, but this play is won or lost by the big guys up front. They're the ones who need to get off the snap on time, get leverage on the defender, and create the space needed for the quarterback to pick up the first down. It takes a certain guy in that slot position to be willing and able to go across the middle of the defense on those in-breaking routes. You can tell this guy, he doesn't care. He is fearless going across the middle, and he's able to secure a nice catch.
Try again. It's second and 10. On play action, Love. Short throw there, pulled in by Musgrave. Was brought down and placed to pick up 4 and bring up
That's a gain of 4. Brings up
A bit of a quick hitter here. What you're hoping for, Mike, is that the defense can't react quickly enough because the ball's coming out so hot. But they knew it was coming, and they end up holding them to just a short gain.
from the gun. On third down, it's Love. 15 yards through the air. First down.
a gain of 15 yards. That's good for a Green Bay Packer.
These third down conversions are just so important. Like everybody stresses, we want to possess the ball, give our offense as much opportunity to end as many drives as we can, scoring points. So if you want to stay on the field, you better be good on third down. Great job here by this linebacker, Mike. There was no reading and reacting. From the snap, he was attacking. Meets the ball carrier right at the line of scrimmage. No gain.
He'll try again here. Second and 10. He's got the rookie out of tackle. Matthew Golden. Nice work after the catch. He stopped a little short of the first down marker, but it is a pickup of 9.
All right, so anytime you're facing the blitz, the best thing you can do as an offense is just get the ball out of your hand. Get into the hands of receiver, run after catch. In this case, nice job by the defense, rounding into the ball. Nice pass.
They'll spot the football just beyond the marker and find a way to convert on third and
First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
I know it's early in this game, but in my mind, that's 4-down territory, and certainly now the coach doesn't have to make that decision. He keeps it on the ground on 3rd and short, gets a fresh set of downs, and now they got to see if they can come away with some points.
They'll run with Jacobs. That was never done for defense. And they drop him in the backfield.
The tackle made back
These
at the
negative
37
runs, they
yard
just
line.
make everything for the play caller that much more difficult, Mike. So they've got to find a way to be more efficient on these early downs, meaning 1st and 2nd down, because if not, you find yourself the entire game in 3rd and pass, and that's what every single defense in the league is trying to do.
And he's going to be dropped after a pickup of about 5.
That's a
This is
gain
one of those
of
throws where you're hoping you do most of the damage after the catch, but give credit to the defense. Once that ball was caught, they were on him quickly, and there was nowhere for him to go after the catch.
A lengthy opening drive. Now comes to this. It is 3rd down. Here's Love. Here's a screen taken in by Jacobs. He's looking for him on the edge, but could not find any. They track him down behind the line. And it's 4th down.
Well, when you call a screenplay, of course, you're looking to catch the defense off guard and pick up a chunk play. Not thinking you're actually going to find yourself going backwards. That's exactly the case here, and really nice job by the defense sniffing that one out.
Field goal. A 50-yard attempt.
McManus's kick is good. And the Packers will
Makes
take
the score
a 3-0 lead.
Lions
And that's a
nothing.
good drive right out of the gate. They're able to make some plays, move the ball down the field. I know they didn't get a touchdown, but that is a good, positive result.
Brendan
3
McManus
points
to kick
on
off
that
for
opening
Green Bay.
drive. We'll see the response as the kick's away. Here's Craig Reynolds to return. He'll work his way across the 25-yard
Lions
line.
take over 1st and 10.
So the Lions come out and they are led again by Jared Goff. Already year 10 in the league, and half of those 10 with the Lions. Remember, took the Rams to a Super Bowl as well. What a year last year, Greg. 2nd in passing yards in the NFL.
You see Jared Goff now taking the field, and he's coming off one of the best seasons of his career, and he's certainly quieted a lot of skeptics around the league, Mike, and leading this Lions team to the NFC Championship just a season ago. He has his eyes set on taking that next step. And a strong performance here will certainly help him achieve that goal.
And he'll be taken down all the way up to the 45.
It's a gain of 3.
20 yards. Impressive start to this drive.
They do a really nice job of picking up the pressure, and that's what allows him to have the time to go through his entire progression. He sees his check down wide open, gets the ball into his hands, and he does the rest.
Now the first carry for the Alabama speedster, Jahmyr Gibbs. He is stopped in his tracks.
At the 25-yard line.
So they go with the 1st down run, hoping to just get them some positive yards and get themselves into a good 2nd down situation, but now they find themselves in 2nd and long. So the more you give defenses the opportunity, Mike, to defend you one-dimensionally. So in this case, we're only playing you in the pass. It stresses your protection, it stresses your play caller, and ultimately, it stresses your quarterback.
Laporta in motion. The 2nd down throw for Goff. Working right downfield, it is Williams. And he will
To Jameson Williams.
Jameson
Touchdown,
Williams.
Detroit.
Touchdown, Detroit.
The
Now
kicker
Jake
on
Bates
for the extra
on
point.
for the extra point.
kick is good.
And the Lions move
Makes
on
the
to a
score Lions
7-3
7,
lead.
Packers 3.
So after the touchdown, it's Bates to kick this one away. Bo Melton on the return. And he'll work this one past the 25 to about the 28-yard line.
Their own 28-yard
The
line.
Packers offense ready to get going with their second possession. They'll start out first down and 10. On the ground is Jacobs to start the play. They try to push forward and they end up getting 3 yards with that one. It was Terry Arnold there to make the play.
A gain of 3 brings up second down at the 32-yard line.
From the 32-yard line now, here's second and 6. Once again, it's Jacobs. From that interior spot.
That's a gain of 4. Brings up
And while that
third
run
and
wasn't
1.
anything really to write home about, what it allows them to do, Mike, is keep everything in the playbook at their disposal. Third and short, now it's up to these coaches to dial up their best short yardage play and extend this drive.
In motion, Reed. Off the play fake. Here's Love. Open is Kraft. He's got it. Following the completion, we'll get a stoppage here for an injured player. So as they look at the injured player, we'll take a timeout. Here's first and 10. In motion, Reed. On first and 10, here comes Jacobs. Jacobs going to be laid down at the 40-yard line. On that one, they're on the markers. Another first down.
First and 10 at the 40-yard line.
Nice job by them getting the back to the perimeter. Then he's able to get outside, stick his foot in the ground, and then get vertical. Right down the numbers. Those are the type of runs this offense wants to see more of going forward.
We go play action with Love. That's Dobbs open left side. And they bring him down inside the 25-yard line. It's been a busy first quarter for him so far. His third catch
First
goes
and 10
for a
at the
first down.
24-yard line.
And this is where the speed of your inside receivers are so critical. He lines up in the right slot. But Mike, look how far he covers to where he ended up receiving that ball. You can't have all day. Those defensive linemen, they are coming after your quarterback. So the speed in the slot is critical. That's a great example, Watson.
He takes off.
Well, let's give credit here to the coverage. There was nowhere to go with the ball for that quarterback. He had no choice but to just tuck it down himself. He's able to pick up a short game.
They'll break the huddle. It's second and 5. Here's Love to throw. This one on target. It's Dobbs.
Love's pass.
They'll get maybe 3 out of that one. And it's going to set up third down.
It's a gain of 3. Brings up third and 2. was good.
And the Packers are on top.
Makes the score Packers 10, Lions 7. Brendan McManus
The
to kick
kickoff
off
team
for
is out
Green
on the
Bay.
field. And we're back to it as the kicks away. This one taken at the 7. And he stopped.
The Lions take it for first and
Drive
10
will begin
at
there.
their own 25-yard
The Lions
line.
offense is now ready to get going. On their second possession, trying to establish some tempo. Start this one with first and 10. On play action. Goff. He's got Laporta open on the left side. He'll be taken down rather swiftly after a gain of just 3.
Brings up
So he makes his
second
first
down.
catch of the day, and even though it doesn't look like much, Mike, sometimes those are the touches that you can build off of. You know, it's like in basketball, what they say, sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the hoop.
Toss to the right. Here comes Jim. And he's going to be stopped. Well, he'll be riding the line of scrimmage. A play going absolutely nowhere.
He does a nice job coming from his safety position, filling his run gap assignment. Keeps this to a modest gain at best.
A tough spot here. Third and long. And the shotgun. It's gone. That's gone. It's Isaac to Sloan. And he'll be out of bounds. Well short of the line to gain. And that'll set up fourth down.
That's just one of those drives that was out of whack from the start, Mike. They just couldn't get anything going on the early downs, and
For the Lions.
they'll most likely punt the ball away and hope that their defense can do the same thing and get them the ball back.
They cannot get away. Great job down there to hold it to a short first down.
10 at
The
their own
Packers offense
23-yard
headed back
line.
to take over once more. They had that field goal on the opening drive, the touchdown last time they had it. 2 drives, 2 scores, and here's drive 3. Operating from their own 23, they'll begin first and 10. On play action, he'll set up to throw. Open man, the tight end straight down the field. And a ideal beginning to this drive.
Of 24 yards.
4 on the first play.
That's good for a green.
A touchdown apiece here in the first quarter of play. It's the Packers on top. And we're back. Lambeau Field in just a moment. We begin quarter number 2. The Packers have the football as they've got it with first and 10.
A gain of 2 brings up second and 8.
Ball right on the 50-yard line. Here's second and 8. It's the tight end Kraft in motion. On second down, Love. And a defender
intended
all
for
over
Matthew
incomplete.
Golden.
Good work to body him up
Brings up
and
third
set up
down
a
and
third
8
down.
yards to go.
He was trying to connect with Matthew Golden that time. Third down coming up. From the gun, it's Love. Over the middle and taken in. He's got it. A gain there of 16 yards.
It's a
Good
gain
for
of
Green Bay
16
first down.
yards. That's good for a Packers first down. First and 10 at the 33-yard line.
Third downs, Mike, those are quarterback downs. Those are the downs where you tend to find yourself in a must-pass situation, and that's where the top guys in the league are still capable of overcoming it. So throw the ball downfield, be accurate with the ball. Winning on third downs, that is a recipe for success.
Love to throw it on first down. There's a throw right side.
Love's pass
The incomplete.
intended for Matthew Golden.
Up until that incompletion, they've done a really nice job on this drive, Mike, picking up fresh sets of downs. And typically, throwing the ball on first down is a great way to do it. But now they find themselves in 2nd and 10. Do you keep it in the air and try to get the first down here? Or is the idea to just make third down manageable and take your chances picking up the key third down?
Over the middle to Golden. First brought down that pass is going to pick up 4 and bring up
That's a
third
gain
down.
of 4. Brings up 3rd and 5.
Love to throw. He's going to have the first down and more. And they're putting it all the way down inside the 5.
A gain of 24
That's his
yards.
first reception of the ball
That's
game. Really
another
close.
Green
And a good
Bay
time as they
Packer.
get the conversion on third down.
First and goal at the 4-yard line.
The thing that jumps out to me the most, Mike, is just how often the quarterback is able to throw the ball to his first read in the progression. So hats off to the play caller. Him and the quarterback seeing the game through the exact same set of eyes, and there is a lot of room to operate.
In the end zone. Matthew Golden.
Fitting into this drive, Mike, it only makes sense that he's the one that gets the ball in the end zone after making a handful of clutch plays prior to the touchdown. That was just a textbook example of one guy taking over the game.
Brandon
Alex
McManus
McManus
lining up for
for the
the
point
extra
after.
point.
He knocks it
The
through.
kick is good.
And the Packers will get out of
Makes the
front
score
17-7.
Lions 7. Brandon
Both teams
McManus
ready to
kicking
go
off
once
for
more
Green Bay.
as the kick's away. This will be returned from the 6. And he's brought down right at the 25-yard line. Here's the Detroit offense now, headed back onto the field. They find themselves down 17-7 as this drive starts 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Goff. That's the throw there, but intended on the same page. That's incomplete. Amon-Ra St. Brown, the receiver he was trying to target. And that will lead to a 2nd down. Goff gives it to Gibbs. Gibbs with a 1st down and more. And he's going to to be
Jahmyr
taken
Gibbs,
down
the
on the other side of the 50-yard
He's
line.
across midfield to the 49-yard
25
line.
yards. The
It's a
pickup
gain
there.
of 25
First down,
yards.
Detroit.
First down, Lions.
There's a combination of footwork and vision, his ability to kind of weave through traffic and understand where the holes were. It's a really nice job working through some bodies and picking up a big gain.
First down, and they stick with Gibbs. He's going to be taken down. Not so easy this time. They drop it back behind the line.
The tackle
It's
made back
second
at his
down.
own 49.
Well, as been the case this entire first half, it's been the defense that's really carried the load for this team. Some offensive struggles, but they've done more than their part, coming through again with another big stop for a loss.
Throwing on second down. Goff. He'll let this one go long for Williams. And he will go all the way.
Jamison Williams.
Jamison Williams.
Touchdown, Detroit.
Touchdown, Detroit. 2 touchdowns for him now in the afternoon. They get the job done in the air. Greg, that is a play we see often. It's also a play we see work very often.
Mike, that 4 vertical route, it puts a ton of pressure on the secondary. But in order to do that, you have to give your quarterback time for those receivers to get downfield. Give credit to the offensive line. That's exactly what they did. They're able to take advantage for the strike.
The
Bates
kicker
now
on
for
for the
the
point
extra
after.
point. He's got it.
His
And
kick
the Lions
is
are back
good.
to within a field goal. It's
Makes the score
17-14.
Packers 17. Lions 14.
So after the touchdown, it's Bates to kick this one away. For the return, it's Keyshawn Nixon. He's across the 20, taking down just
Keyshawn
shy
Nixon
of the
on the
25.
return. The Packers take
Packers
over
offense
first
is
down
wide
and
out.
10.
Matthew Golden
At their own
headed for their
24-yard
next
line.
possession. They lead by a field goal as they go to work with a first and 10. To throw is low. That one just too far out in
Intended for
front,
Jaden
and it's
Reed.
incomplete. Jaden Reed was the intended target,
Kirby Joseph on
and
the
it'll lead to a second down.
And this is where the timing of these passing games, you see guys, they call it routes on air, Mike. During the course of the week, there's no defense, nobody playing on coverage, but it's the timing. It's be on time, get your depth, be where the quarterback expects you to be, because then when the game starts, things get spun just a little bit more for the quarterback. In this case, it's a perfect example. He's open, he tries to lead his guy, just was a little too much in front.
and 11.
Just a little too much east and west there for my liking. I understand what they're trying to do, getting the ball out on the perimeter, but on these early downs, plant your foot and get downhill. Great job by the defense stringing it out, and you're able to force them down for a loss.
That's into the hands of Bates. He's got it. Done. And Bates right for a good yardage there, all the way up to
26
midfield.
yards.
A big
That's
one
good
there.
for
On
a
third
Green
down,
Bay
good for
Packer.
26 yards.
First and 10 at the 50-yard line.
So here's a play, Mike, that is clearly designed to attack the middle third of the field. So think it's roughly the space between the numbers. That's the most valuable real estate in football. And once he understood where his leverage was and he gets his head around, great job by the quarterback on time, delivering a strike.
This one not quite on target.
Intended for Matthew
this for a quarterback that we've seen really come out on fire throughout this entire contest. I mean, his completion percentage, Mike, is well above league average, and frankly, it's really the biggest reason why they find themselves out in front.
Run up the middle with Jacobs. And move this one down inside the 40-yard line. He picked it up at 12 yards. And first down.
And these are the explosive runs that open everything up. There's all this conversation about the value of the run game, but when you take a look at the best running teams, Mike, it's not necessarily how many yards they run for, it's how many big plays do they generate. You can generate big plays on the ground. It makes everything so much more difficult.
A 6-yard pickup brings up 2nd and 4 at the 31-yard line.
From the 31, here is 2nd and 4. Loves. They'll look to set up the screen here. And this takes it into the red zone. Inside the 20-yard line.
15 yards.
And the right play call. The screen goes for 15.
Really nice job there, Mike. He sees the blitz coming and just gets the ball out of his hands. Understand where your outlets are. It results in an easy pitch and catch and move the chains.
Here's Love. He'll keep this himself. Probably should have given it to Love. Back to the line of scrimmage, and that's all.
Right at the line of
A
scrimmage.
lot of defensive
No gain on
strategy
the
of
play.
defending the zone
2nd
read, Mike,
and
is
10
we want
at
that
the
quarterback to pull
16-yard
the ball.
line.
It's one of their few chances throughout the course of the game where they can get their hits on them, and in this case, they're able to hold them to no gain.
Throwing on 2nd down, Love. That one downfield, but they cannot connect. And it's incomplete.
There isn't much room for error when operating inside the red zone. The field is really condensed. Those throwing windows become a lot tighter and forces your quarterback to make some really highly contested throws. And as we just saw, those aren't always going to go your way.
From the gun. Marcus Davenport in there for the sack.
4th down.
And that's a big-time play. It felt like they really needed it, Mike. That was a drive where the offense seemed to be in complete control. Anytime on the defense where you find yourself on your heels, you're giving up big plays, you're giving up fresh set of downs, you need a spark. You need something to change the momentum of the drive, and we'll see if that was it right there.
Brandon
Brandon
McManus
McManus
and
on
the
for
field
the
goal
field
unit
goal.
come on.
A
This
39-yard
one from
attempt.
39 yards out. He is 2 for 2. That kick is good. And the
Makes the
Packers
score Packers
add on to
20.
their lead.
Lions 14.
And this is what you want. I mean, you clearly have the advantage, but you want to continue to apply pressure. Can you score every time you get the ball? They're able to do that here. They tack on free and extend their lead.
Brandon
The
McManus
kickoff
kicking
team is
off
out on
for
the field.
Green Bay.
And we're back to it as the kicks away. And it'll be brought down.
The Lions
past
take over
25.
1st and 10.
Decent field position
Their own
to start this drive.
27-yard line.
And he's already topped the century mark in receiving yards here in this first half. So you have to think the bulk of the targets are going to continue to go his way. He'll start this one on the ground with Gibbs. Opening past the 40.
Jameer Gibbs, the ball carrier.
At the 44-yard line.
At the 44-yard line.
They'll gain
It's a gain
17
of
on that
17
one.
yards.
It's very quick.
And the
First down.
Lions first down.
The ability to be effective on first down, Mike, it just makes everything else easier. In the event you do have to face a third down the road, They're usually a lot more manageable situations, a lot easier to convert.
On first and 10. Here's Goff. Get this complete. It's Williams over the middle. And they'll get this one down to the 35-yard line. A big half continues. Already 2 touchdowns on the score sheet. And here, this grab gets him a first down.
Yes, it's really well executed here, and you see this in so many offenses around the league. Like, these slant routes are either built in or what they call hot routes or sight routes. The receiver sees the blitz, and they break the route. It gives an easy target for the quarterback, and it gives great opportunity for run after catch.
Give him 10 more.
It's a gain of 10.
Just enough for another first down.
Hey, Mike, you know the best time to pick up first downs is? On first downs. Don't wait for third down. We see it here. 3 plays in a row, 3 first downs on chunk plays, and this offense is rolling.
Off to throw on first down. He'll get this to his tight end, Laporta. After the catch, he gets the number forward for a gain of 9.
It's a gain
Every
of 9.
pass has to be thrown downfield. You can rely on the run after catch, especially a big body like this tight end. Get the ball in his hands early and let him pick up the rest after the catch.
Second and inches. On the ground, this is Gibbs. And he's going to be close to a first down. Looks like he'll have just enough to keep the chains moving.
Here's where you really see the value of having a good run. Third and short, fourth and short. The ability to just keep it simple, win up front, turn around, hand the ball to your back, and to say, okay, more likely than not, we're going to get a fresh set of downs, maintain possession, and now continue to find opportunities to go generate points.
And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage.
We're seeing such a tick like across the league in these hybrid positionless defenders, especially safety. So are they a safety? Are they a linebacker? They're doing coverage. And in this case, they can play near the line of scrimmage and still make plays on the ground.
A second down throw for Goff. He'll get it into the hands of Williams. And they'll work this close to a first down.
So they have these rules for the receivers, but they call them green grass rules. And the idea is, if you're running across the field and you're looking at the quarterback, you're going to stay on the run. If you're not looking at the quarterback, that tells him, I'm going to sit in this soft zone. I'm going to what they call punch and pivot and stop. And that tells the quarterback to put the ball on your chest. That nonverbal communication between the receiver and the quarterback, recognizing when you're open, stay open. That's the stuff that makes a lot of these offenses so difficult to defend.
2 yards. Brings up 4th down.
They can still pick up a first down here, and they'll line up to go for it on 4th down. They'll try it now with Gibbs.
Jahmyr Gibbs, the ball
Early in this game offensively, I think you're giving up a surefire field goal attempt, but at the same time, you're demonstrating to your players, hey, offense, I have a lot of trust in you, and let's see if they have this same approach as the rest of this game plays on.
To throw on 1st and 10. And he got rid of that one quickly before the receiver knew what was going on. That's incomplete. Tucker Craft was the intended receiver there. And it'll bring up 2nd down. Back to the air, it's Love. He'll step up and run this. Trying to get down the 4th down. Gain about 7.
It's a gain of 6.
Setting up 3rd down.
Makes it 3rd.
Take a look at his eyes. You can see the quarterback progressions, and he's quick to realize there's nowhere to go with this ball. He makes the right decision and gets out of there, picks up some good yardage, and gets down on the ground.
Back to throw is Love. And he's going to get awfully close to the first down marker, but appears just to be a few inches short.
It's
The Lions called their first time out.
Daniel
Fourth
Whelan
down, the
in
Packers
punt
turned over
formation
to
for the
Daniel Whelan to
Packers.
punt. Deep for the Lions, Holly Freeman. This fielded inside the 35.
Landed on the return.
Punt team. They
The
stop them
Lions take over
before it can
first
get
and
any
10
return cranked up.
at their own
The
33-yard
Lions
line.
offense going to take over here in the last minute of this first half. They'll see if they can put something together here, beginning with 1st and 10. From the gun, it's gone. That'll be a punt. It's Jameer Gibbs. They'll mark him down
Complete to
at the
Jameer Gibbs.
44-yard line.
It's a gain of 10.
Detroit's going to use their
First
second
down,
timeout.
Lions.
They get the stoppage with just over 50 seconds to play in this first half.
Turn his TV off. He want my type activities, but don't you do.
On first down, it's Goss. Who's made? That is Williams. And they'll get about half of what they needed.
Jamison
Pick up
Williams.
the 5 that sets up
A gain
second
of 5
and 5.
brings up 2nd and 5.
Similar to a tight end, the
They're
slot
49
receiver is
yards.
often considered the safety blanket. He makes all the difficult catches, tends to be a little bit more around the line of scrimmage, and so far today, he's certainly lived up to that reputation.
Right back to Williams. They connect again. And it's good. First down. He gets out of bounds, and he stopped the
It's a
clock
gain
as
of
well.
6. First
Really
down,
nice job here by
Detroit.
the quarterback, understanding what did he need to pick up a fresh set of downs. In this case, that underneath drag route was all it took. Get the ball into the hands of your receiver, pick up a first down.
Goff going to throw here on 1st and 10. The throw here is complete. And they'll take this down inside the 35. That's catch 3 just on this drive. And it gets his team a first down.
Every defense in the league, Mike, they stress the importance of defending the middle of the field. And in this case, that's just too much room to operate. They have to find a way to close and cloudy up those windows, make the quarterback throw the ball to the sidelines. When you allow him to operate in there, especially with that much space, you're going to make for a long day.
Out comes Jake Bates to try a field goal here. Officially an even 50-yard attempt. Bates' kick is good. The Lions will cut the lead from
Personal
6
foul.
down
Roughing
to
the
3.
kicker. Defense. That penalty is declined.
Just 1 second remaining in this first half, and they will kick it away. The return team gonna let that one go.
Packers
They'll
take
go
over
through the end
first
zone.
and 10
It's a touchback.
at their own 35-yard line.
From the 35, it's 1st and 10. Now Love. Left side, he finds Pratt. And he's going to be taken down as time runs out. on this first half of play.
Okay, Mike, thanks very much. Scott Hansen with you from the EA Studios in Orlando. It's been a heck of a game so far, just a field goal separating these two squads. You have to imagine both sides are trying to figure out how to clean things up, put some touchdowns up in the second half. Let's find out what goes on in the third quarter. Back out to the stadium and our broadcast team, Mike Tirico and Greg Olson.
Scott, thanks. Probably a tough halftime for the defensive coordinators, trying to do something to slow down these offenses. What a show they put on in the first half.
Brandon
3
McManus
points,
taking
all
on
that separates
quarterback.
these two sides as half number 2 kicks off. Reynolds now on the return. And they'll bring him down just
The
shy
Lions
of the
take over
30-yard
first
line.
and 10.
The Lions offense going to have the first crack at it as we begin this third quarter. This one has been tight so far. A field goal separating the two sides. This drive kicks off with first and 10. We'll go play action with God. And he can hang on through the contact. And he'll take a good job defensively to meet him just as the ball was arriving. It'll bring up second down.
He's usually such a reliable target in the passing game. Like, we just don't see him struggle to come down with catches like that all too often. And when you're one of the go-to guys on your team, I know the hit's coming, but guess what? It feels a lot better after you take that hit after a catch than it does after a drop.
You will not be able to get free. Picking up only a yard. Now it's third down.
It's only a yard. And it's third
Out of the shotgun. It's gone. He manages to get the throw away and completes it. He had two touchdowns earlier. Looking to see what he can do here in the second half. That grab gets them a first down.
This is a really nice job of just finding a hole in coverage, Mike. And I used to say, hey, when you're open, stay open. That's the art of route running versus zone coverage. And it's a friendly target for the quarterback in space, and they're able to convert. And they've really done a nice job defensively holding them in check. Ideally, you want your back to average around 4 yards a pop, but they're falling short of that threshold as of now, and partially it's why they find themselves trailing at this stage in the game.
On second down, Goff under pressure, and he'll go down.
Sack some drive cutters. And again, we saw some good quarterback stand and then our offensive line stand. You have to have a clock in your head to understand where the weakness of the protection is, where I got to go with the ball if I'm hot, and at the end of the day, just get the ball out of your hand.
So backed up after the sack, and now it's third and long. To throw is gone. And they're going to give him a second time. He goes down again. Michael Parsons, too tough to stop. Gets in to bring him in. Fourth down.
When you can win so fast as an edge rusher, you put so much pressure on the quarterback to speed everything up. He can sense that pressure coming either from his front or back side. It either speeds up and leads to an errant throw, or in this case, leads to a sack.
The Lions will punt this ball away
for the Lions.
as he's on to punt for the second time. scheme against throughout this one. This defense has been picked apart. That is borne out in those impressive numbers. He has been terrific all game long. It's the tight end Kraft in motion. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
The size, the speed, and the strength of this defensive tackle was on full display, Mike. He defeats the block, strikes the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. He's able to bring him down, keep it to no gain.
2nd and 10. It's the tight end Kraft in motion.
Brings up 3rd and 5.
From the gun, it's Love.
This may look like a simple connection, Mike, just pitch and catch. But I can promise you the amount of time these two guys have spent together on the practice field, in the meeting rooms, just getting on the same page, seeing the game through the same set of eyes, makes what's pretty difficult seem a lot easier.
First and 10 at the 28-yard line.
Big hole up the middle. The interior of this offensive line did a great job clearing some space. The back saw it quick and he hit it. Next thing you know, he was in the secondary for a big pickup.
Play action with Love. To the left side and taken in by Golders.
Every quarterback's dream is to get the ball out of my hand as fast as possible and get it to a guy that can do the rest after the catch. And it seems like nowadays, throughout the entire league, the best offenses thrive on yards after the catch. Just a little slow developing on that screenplay there. It's pretty obvious to the entire defense exactly what was going on. Nobody was thinking pass. Nobody was getting back into their drops, and just nowhere for that back to go.
A 2nd down throw for Love. Moving to his right. The defense comes up with the coverage, but they cannot keep up with the speed as the quarterback scrambles to the end zone for the touchdown.
If down here in the red zone, Mike, is where I think a quarterback's legs can be the most dangerous. The defenders are trying to match backs, match tight ends and receivers, but often it's the quarterback that has no one assigned to him, and in this case, he's able to capitalize and run it in himself.
Brandon McManus lining up for the extra point. His kick
Will extend this third
makes
quarter
the
lead.
score Packers 27, Lions 17.
Scott, thanks. No rest at the break for a couple of so weary defensive coordinators trying to figure out how to stop these offenses here in the second half. Both teams ready to go once more as the kicks away. Now return coming from the 7. And he'll bring it out to the 22-yard line. That's where the offense will take the field. the Lions offense back onto the field for their next possession. The deficit is at 10, so an important drive forthcoming. It started with 1st and 10. On the ground to start, they give it to Gibbs.
Well, really nice start here to the drive. Early down success. Every offensive coordinator is trying to find ways. How do we pick up 1st downs without having to get to 3rd down? We see it here. Big explosive run. Now the rest of the drive unfolds. You can tell the entire time that running back is just looking for his crease to get vertical and come back. But the defense does a great job. Inside-out pursuit, strings this ball out towards the sideline. Nowhere to go, and they make a big stop for no gain.
That one down the field, but
Intended for Jamison Williams.
It's been a bit of a pedestrian game for this quarterback. This passing game here today, Mike, and I know they all would have loved to connect on that deep throw. I think that stat sheet would have looked a whole lot different, but just a little off in their execution and leads to an incompletion.
from the gun on 3rd down, it's gone. It's complete. Jameer Gibbs. Touchdown, Lions. 3rd down. My focus, Greg, was on picking up the 1st down. Forget that. They go down the field and in the end zone for a touchdown.
Yeah, and I don't think it was just your focus, Mike. I think in this case, it was the defense's focus. They're so worried about where that 1st down marker was that they allowed them to get that ball up and over the top for the deep strike touchdown.
The
Here's
kicker on
Bates
for the extra point.
His kick
The
is
kick
good.
is good.
And the Lions are back within a field goal. The lead is 3.
Lions 24.
Scott, thanks. Probably a tough halftime for the defensive coordinators. Trying to do something to slow down these offenses. What a show they put on in the 1st half. So after the touchdown, it's Bates to kick this one away. Here's Nixon on the return. And their execution will begin
on the
at the
return.
30-yard
The
line.
Packers take over
Out comes
1st
the
and
Green Bay
10.
offense now as they get set to
30-yard
take
line.
over again. They'll start it here with a 1st and 10. In motion goes Dobbs. They'll start on the ground with Jacobs. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
He was
Well, they're
taken
trying to get the
down
run
behind
game
the line of
started here
scrimmage.
early on this
For
drive,
loss
Mike,
of a
and they're just going to
yard.
have to do a better
Brings up
job up
2nd
front.
down.
There's really nowhere
At
for
the
this ball
29
carrier
yard
to go.
line.
You never want to lose yards on 1st down, but that's exactly the case here.
On 2nd down. As they threw, the pass is incomplete. Trying to set up that screen, but the rush
Brings up
got there
3rd
too
down
quick.
and 10.
They got there in a hurry, didn't they, Mike? I mean, luckily for him, he saw that free rusher coming, and at the very least was able to get that ball out to prevent the sack.
He's going to go deep, looking for Reed.
Intended
difficult throws, but to put the ball in harm's way.
Daniel Whelan in
Packers set to kick
formation
this one
for the
away.
Packers.
He's on for the second time and wouldn't mind a carbon copy of that first kick. Raymond will return. And they'll take over there.
First and 10.
The Lions offense make their way out to take over once more. They'll do so with 1st and 10. Now Gibbs to Gibbs running right. And he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
The tackle by
I can promise you that is not how they wanted to start this drive, Mike. I mean, to get blown up at the point of attack,
the 30-yard
there was just nowhere for the back to go on that run.
Lost one on the last play, so now it's 2nd and 11. Goff to throw. That pass caught by Amon-Ra. Now he's centered down. That's the 40 with that.
St. Brown.
Just his
It's a gain of
first catch.
10.
They have held him
And the
in check
Lions
so far.
first down.
That one gives him a first down. So they come to the line for 1st down and 10. Laporta in motion. They hand it to Gibbs. Not very good. Just a short game.
Devontae Wyatt on the tackle. A gain of a yard. Brings up 2nd down at the 43-yard line.
From the 43, here's 2nd and 8. Goff to throw. Quick snap taken in by Amon-Ra. And they'll have it across midfield down at the opposing 46-yard line. That's 2 catchers on this drive. This one for 10 yards and a 1st down.
Let's give some credit to this offensive line. Once they identified the blitz, you could see them communicating with one another to make sure everybody is on the same page. And that's what gave the quarterback enough time and found the open man.
There's 11 yards again, 2 plays in a row. And another 1st down.
First down, Detroit.
And we're starting to see the fruits of their labor paying off here. I mean, they've used this run game to throw a bunch of body blows throughout the entire contest. And while some of the carries didn't result in much at the time, it's clear they're starting to take its toll on this defense.
And they're good job following his blockers a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd down.
It's a gain of 7.
And as of right now, they find themselves trailing at the moment, but it's certainly not because of the ground game. I mean, he's averaging over 4 yards per carry. Just hasn't been enough to overcome some of their shortcomings elsewhere.
Throwing on 2nd down. Goff. Throw here down the field. Will fall. Incomplete.
Certainly not one of his better throws, but what I've loved out of this quarterback today, Mike, is just how aggressive he's remained throughout the entire course of the game. Continue to push the ball downfield. Even if it falls incomplete, it opens up everything else in this passing game, and they've had their way so far today.
Looking for the pylon, but the official right there should have marked up out of bounds at the 1-yard line. It's a gain of 26, and it'll set up 1st and goal.
So first off, nice job picking up enough for the 1st down. I gotta be honest, Mike, when he caught it, I thought he was gonna put his foot in the ground and get physical and run through contact. He tried to score. I'm not so sure why he just so quickly ran out of bounds, even though he was able to pick up the 1st. Their ground game ends up failing at the exact moment, Mike, where they're needed the most. 1 yard to the goal line, that's a prime opportunity. Finish the drive, take the lead, but instead, they go backwards.
A 2nd down throw for Goff. Taken in. Into the end zone. Davis afternoon. And that is the hat trick. What a game. His third touchdown reception of this one.
And nothing they've done to slow him down has worked, Mike. This defense, they're throwing multiple guys at him. They're playing man, they're playing zone. It doesn't matter. This guy is having his way, and he's having a day.
The kicker on for the point
extra
after.
point. He's
The
got
kick
it.
is
And the
good.
Lions have taken
Makes
a
the score
4-point
Lions
advantage.
31, Packers 27.
Scott, thanks. No rest at the break for a couple of, I'm sure, weary defensive coordinators trying to figure out how to stop these offenses here in the second half. So after the touchdown, it's Bates to kick this one away. Here's Nixon on the return. He'll get this
Sean Nixon
20
on the
before he's
return.
brought down
The
shy of
Packers
the
take over
25-yard
first
line.
and 10.
The
At
Packers
their own
offense ready to
23-yard
take
line.
over once more. Trail by 4, a touchdown gives them the lead. Drive begins with first and 10. It's the tight end Kraft in motion. Off the RPO. This is Dobbs. Nice open field tackle there. He could not get free. They're going to stop him for no gain.
Brings up second down.
Really well done here by the defense, Mike,
23-yard line.
executing this zone defense, and they've got to be able to pattern read. You're not just going to drop back to a spot and just play like a robot. Based on what the receivers do off the line, the defenders have different rules of where their zones move to.
He's going to be taken down. They sack him on what will be the final play of this third quarter. So, no shortage of offense in this one as we end the third. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL on EA Sports. They need one right now. Third and long. This one just too far for the receiver. Out in front of that one. Falls incomplete.
I think he predetermined that third down throw, and even though the coverage was tight, he still tried to fit the ball in there anyway, and it ended up falling incomplete. I think if he goes through his progressions and has a little bit more trust in his protection, I think there's an easier throw to make out
Daniel
there.
Whelan in
On comes the
confirmation
Packers
for the
punting team.
Packers.
We forced a punt, trailing here in the fourth quarter. This one, returnable. And he'll get forward a few yards on the
The
return.
Lions take over
That's where the
first and
offense
10
will take over.
at their own
So
42-yard
Jared
line.
Goff and the Lions offense getting set for this next drive. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been successful. He just processes things so quickly, making the right read, seemingly every time. Off the play fake, here's Goff. That's caught by Gibbs.
Complete to
And only managed a couple of yards before he's out of bounds.
44-yard line.
So there's really three areas that modern NFL running back has to excel. Number one, the traditional handoffs. Number two, you have to be excellent and reliable in pass protection. And maybe bigger than all of them, you have to be at least serviceable out of the backfield in the passing game.
He's got his man on the inroute. It's taken in over the middle. They're going to work this down inside the 45.
And the
It's a
Lions
gain of 12 then. Good for a Lions first down.
A lot could go wrong anytime you in the air here late in the fourth quarter as you're trying to run out the clock and protect this lead. But at the same time, I like that they haven't gone super conservative. Just hand off right, hand off left, and it just turns into tackle and run. So I like the balance of making the defense defend everything. Because right now, possess the ball, protect the ball, and ultimately just run the clock out.
From the 38 now, here's second down and 4. From the gun, it's gone. And the whistle down. Number 4 picks up the first down. For a gain of 7.
Nothing a quarterback loves more, Mike, than being able to pick up a first down without being forced to push the ball downfield and force it past the line to gain. He settles for the underneath check down. He's confident that his receiver is going to pick up the rest after the catch.
Here's Gibbs. And he'll get it to the line of scrimmage. That's about all.
This stage in the fourth quarter, great job by the defense, understanding exactly what the offense is trying to do. They're trying to bleed the clock, shorten the game. They completely sold out to stop the run, able to take them down for a loss.
The throw is gone. His receiver on the impact is done. That's the second time they connect on this drive. This one good for 13 yards.
First down, Detroit.
This is clinic tape for any young wide receiver out there watching this guy run routes. He has the defender thinking everything is a go ball. Attack him vertically, and then when you get to your route depth, you stick that foot in the ground, you break in, balls on time, results in a nice first down.
You'll get about 4 here as he is taken there.
To number 87,
Not the big play they were hoping for, but first down efficiency, staying ahead of the chains, is what every offense is trying to find, and it brings up a manageable second down.
Here's a 2nd and 6. Around here with Gibbs. Nothing doing there. Gibbs behind the line.
Rashawn
You know, at
Gary
this
on the
point, the
tackle.
defense has to sell out and stop the run. You know exactly what the offense is trying to get accomplished by keeping the ball on the ground. But now the question remains, are they willing to take some risk here and put the ball in the air on third down? Or do they play it safe and keep running the clock by keeping the ball on the ground?
This crowd into it now as we get to third down. Now Goff.
First and goal at the 6-yard line.
Big time completion right there, and this isn't just a spot where they're trying to run the game out here in the fourth quarter. They were not only trying to pick up points, but they're trying to get in the end zone and extend this lead. So, really nice job here late.
Complete to Sam Laporta. Touchdown, Detroit.
Touchdown, Lions. Everything you want to do right there, Greg, in the fourth quarter. Get the ball with the lead and extend it to a 2-score advantage.
Yeah, and I think this just might end up being too much to overcome. You said it. Once you get a 2-score lead this late in the fourth quarter, there's just not enough possessions to be had to claw yourself back in it.
The
Here's
kicker on
Bates
for the extra point.
The kick
His kick is good.
and the Lions
Makes the
will
score
open it up
Lions
even further
38.
here in this fourth quarter.
27.
kick this one away. Here's Nixon on the return. And he'll be brought down just
Keyshawn
beyond the
Nixon
25-yard
on the
line.
return. The
The
Packers take over
offense will
first
see
and
what they
10
can do with this
at
next
their own
possession.
27-yard
They'll begin
line.
with first and 10. Here's Love. Here's a screen taken in by Jacob. This one's going to be missed out. Thrown up in the backfield.
Well, the best screen plays, of course, you want the offensive lineman out in front of the running back. They act as his escort, his lead blockers. But what you can't afford is for the defenders to be in the backfield and get to the running back, because those offensive linemen, they can't help them at all.
Work to do now as they come up on second and long. Love to throw. Over the middle, he fits it into Dobbs. And the game that time for a gain of 9 and third down.
Gain of 9 brings up third and 6.
And that's exactly how you teach it. They want these defenders to time the hit. That right when the ball gets there, you separate the receiver from the ball. And those are the ones on offense, man. You just have to make that catch, Mike. I know it's easier said than done, but you know the hit's coming. You've got to squeeze that thing, brace for impact, and make that play for your offense.
And that's where his team will get possession of the football. Jahmyr Gibbs and the Detroit offense set to take over again. And it's hard to believe he can run the ball a whole lot better than he has. The vision, the cutback ability, the acceleration, the stats. It has all been on display throughout. This drive starts at the 21. It's first and 10. Now a pitch to Montgomery. Ooh. And he's able to push through the tackle. It's a pickup 6.
He was brought down at the 28-yard line. It's a pickup of 6. Brings up second and 4.
Ball on the 28-yard line. Here's second and 4. No run with Gibbs. And he'll be near the first down marker. It's going to be a 3, but a short yardage coming on the
It's a gain of 3.
It's that little bit closer to the first down marker. They're going to need to create more running room on the ground if they plan on extending this drive.
It's the quarterback with the sneak. Running back hitting CD's there. Too strong in the middle. He didn't get there. It's fourth down.
First down, Lions.
When done correctly, Mike, this is just such a high percentage call. It's kind of hard to choose another play off your call sheet. It's impossible to defend. You can know it's coming, stack the box, whatever you want to do. But most of the time, they'll just drive forward and pick up the first down.
A run up the middle. It's Gibbs. He's released into the line of scrimmage. He's gets a yard on the 33-yard second down.
A gain of a yard. Brings up second and 9.
We'll go play action with Goff. That's going to be incomplete.
And they got the look they were hoping for, one-on-one on the outside. He's just unable to hold on to it through contact, and I think that was a big opportunity missed.
Out of the shotgun. It's Goff. Target for Williams. He's got it. Closing in on
Jamison
200
Williams.
receiving yards for the game.
A
He's
gain
been
of 16
outstanding.
yards.
That one
And
for a
the
first down.
Lions, first down.
That might end up being the backbreaker right now. This defense desperately needed to get off the field and give their offense a chance to cut into this two-score lead. But instead, they now got to defend a fresh set of downs. And as you look up at this clock, they might be running out of time.
They'll tap this one forward to St. Brown. And that one checked it almost immediately. Good pressure to the backside. Left it nowhere to go. And no gain.
Back at his own 49.
Great job by the defense seeing this jet sweep unfold. They're able to get right to the point of contact and take this guy down for a loss.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. Throwing here is Goff. Who else? Another catch for his big return. First down and pass. Going to pick up 4. It's a gain of 3. Third down.
I wouldn't be surprised if some point here in the future, Mike, this quarterback drops back, looks like the same old hitch route underneath, and they give a pump fake and go. You can lull a defense to sleep with a lot of these underneath quick game passes, and once you do, you can try to go from there.
St. Brown.
Complete to number 14. Amon-Ra St. Brown. A gain of 15. First down, Detroit.
An interesting decision there by the play caller to put this ball in the air. Mike, you're up by 2 scores. Traditional wisdom says, hey, we're up by 2 scores late in the 4th quarter. We've got to keep this clock moving. You don't want to risk an incompletion. Now, they convert. They're able to secure the catch and pick up a fresh set of downs. That's going to enable them to continue to burn more clock. And without a stop, their opponent's not going to get the ball.
Quick throw, taken in, and he's brought down after a gain of 6 on first down.
A 6-yard pickup brings up second down at the 24-yard line.
So, 2 minutes to play here in the second half. Greg and I back on EA Sports. After this, here's a 2nd and 3 forthcoming. Straight ahead with Gibbs. He is met and dropped. Up a yard behind the line of scrimmage, too.
Back at the
So, right out of the 2-minute break, we get a timeout used by the defense with 1:56 to go. You've got to consider this an absolute must-stop defensively. It's 3rd down. They'll drop to throw. He's got his tight end. That's Laporta. And they continue to turn out
Number
first down.
87, Zach
Drive. It continues
A
now
gain
with
of
first
16
and goal.
yards. First down, Lions.
So these situations, Mike, are always very tricky for a play caller. Of course, you want to keep the clock moving. You're just trying to run the game out and maintain this lead, but you also don't want to become overly predictable. So with the defense just selling out to stop the run, I think they have to mix in a few high completion percentage passes to just at least keep them off balance.
Back at the 13-yard line.
This defense doing a great job here facing this goal-to-go situation, especially on that last play. 2 stops down, and now the pressure really ramps up for this offense as they face 3rd and goal.
This a must stop for this defense. Facing 3rd and long. Laporta in motion. Throwing now on 3rd and long. And that is complete.
And that's what he's going to look at on film tomorrow and want that. There was enough space there to get the first down. I know the ball takes him a little bit out of bounds, but he's got to get your first foot down, drag the second. That's how they teach it, and just can't quite get it done.
He is 2 for 2. Is good.
Makes the score.
The Lions will extend their lead.
Packers
So
27.
it's not exactly what you're looking for when you set out on a drive, but at the same time, you don't want to come away empty-handed either. So in this case, they'll take those 3 points.
So the kickoff team out there one final time in the final minute as they kick it away. Melton now to return. He'll get across the 20.
The Packers
welcome
take
down
over
to the
first and
23-yard
10
line.
at their own
The Packers
23-yard
offense
line.
starting to trot out for this next possession. Here is first and 10. Out of the shotgun. It's Love. There's that man again. Another hit. Nice game here. He's going to be marked down at the 35-yard line.
That's
12
good.
yards on the game. That's good for a quick first down.
First and 10 at the 35-yard line.
Here's first down. Play action with Love. Looking down the field there. It falls incomplete. Trying to connect with Romeo Dobbs that time.
Leads to second
And
and 10
it'll be
at
second
the
down.
35-yard line.
They nearly connected on the big play downfield, but he's not quite able to hold on to that ball through the contact. You can chalk that one up as a win defensively.
In motion, it's Golden. Going on second down, Love. Pass caught right side by Kraft. And he'll get only a yard before he's out of bounds, and that's going to set
He's
up
out of
a
bounds
third
behind
down.
the line of scrimmage.
From the gun, it's Love. Open man, right side, he's got nowhere. And he's brought down, but they are
It's a
out
gain of 14
timeouts.
yards. And the Packers first down.
So a win for the visitors, the Lions. This was a game where both offenses were up and down the field, marching the ball at will, matching each other point for point. In the end, a few more defensive stops than their opponents did. That's the difference in this one. So that'll do it for us. For Greg Olson and our terrific team behind the scenes, I'm Mike Tirico. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. Follow us on X at EA Madden NFL. So long, everybody.